On our way to school. It's a chilly one here today. 39 degrees out right now. That would be for us Canadians. Wherever you live, we all know that 39 is right around 3 or 4 degrees Celsius. She's a chilly one. I have a couple of horses to train today. We were going to train Tally the Tab later in the week because she's likely going to be in Wednesday. But it's supposed to rain Thursday, Friday, and the track is closed for some reason for maintenance on Saturday, at least as of right now. So, I'm going to train her this morning. We'll talk about the horses that raced yesterday, talk about the horse that went out. I was happy. I told you never want to make a break because it really puts a kind of a kink into what you're trying to do. But yesterday, I see the gate. I sent a video to you guys about tricky trotters. Now, it's important to note, the break from Legal Scholar last night, he's not a tricky trotter. That was on me. I shoved him off his feet leaving the car. I watched his last two videos, and I can't remember who drove the horse. I think his win, Troy Byer, drove the horse. I think, yeah, thank you. I think he did. And if I'm not mistaken, he kind of let him trot out of the car, which I do with most of our horses anyway. But he was a little ornery, a little grabby. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to put your nose on the gate. I put his nose on the gate, and he was a little flat-footed coming off the car. And he made that break. That was on me. That was not the horse. He is not a tricky trotter at all. I don't know how fast he is. He seemed good to me. He seemed eager to do his work last night, and maybe a little too eager. As I said, I saw those videos before we bought the horse, but just with the way he was a little grabby, I just put his nose on the car, which is a touch concerning because I know when I'm gone away next week, Aaron or Tyler will drive the horse, and Aaron just puts all their nose on the gate. So, I don't know. We'll see how he is next week, but not what you would call a tricky trotter. Earlier in the day, that video derived from Sparkling Volo, who I like very much. I'm not gonna try and qualify him next week, I don't think, because I like the way he schooled, I like the way he behaved. We were gonna do a little bit of vet work on him, and I would just hate to see him make a break. And not that people aren't qualified, but remember, I got to go with him 2 or 3 times. You know, you count that training mile where I pulled him up one again, so there's twice I sat behind him going fast. The qualifier's 3, the schooler is 4. I got to sit behind him 2, 3, 4 times. To just sit behind him once, I can explain him. The explanation of Sparkling Volo is not difficult. Just watch him coming into the turns and out of the turns. But the execution...
Put cream on my face.
Oh, goodness. And I don't have any in here. Is it dry?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Maybe there's some in here. Maybe look and see if there's any in here. Any cream?
Why would you have cream?
I know I have cream like the shaving cream.
Don't put that on her face.
No, not that. No, there's other cream in here.
Put shaving cream on her face.
Not shaving cream. It's like that stuff you put on after shave.
Well, you can't put that on her face.
Granny's calling. We'll call Granny back. So when it comes to Sparkling Volo, I think just doing the vet work on him, left hind ankle we were going to do on him, and then we were going to go and maybe school him, but I'd rather just wait a week. Don't be so destructive in there, you. All right, well then there's nothing in here. I thought there was. So we had the qualifier and schooler yesterday. We had legal scholar I talked about who made that break coming off the car, and that was not him, that was me. And then we had 2 other horses racing yesterday. Now, Arrowhead Handover, Greg has been lobbying pretty hard for me to take him to the race. I believe it's a Simpson next week in Philadelphia. And I don't really want to go to Philadelphia, but he made a very good point when it comes to Arrowhead. You know, he got a couple of bad draws. He's probably ready to be cut loose. And quite frankly, by cut loose, I just mean let him rock. And then when you look at who's eligible to the Simpson and who's likely to show up for it, it may be a good spot for Arrowhead Handover to be in. So I'll mull that over today and tomorrow. What I have found is, you know, a lot of our clients, one, have come accustomed to the way that we race horses and the way that we try to put them in where they belong, and 2, understand the conditions very well. And when it comes to some of our more analytical clients, and especially Greg, more times than not, They're pretty much on point. So I am going to look at potentially racing Arrowhead in the Simpson. Question I have is, who do I send him to? It's a little too costly to have Tim's guys ship him down there and then race him, stay overnight, and ship him back. So I'll try and figure out exactly what we're going to do with Arrowhead. But as of right now, he'll be racing next week somewhere. The front runner for right now would be, I believe it's the Simpson, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see. Now, the one shining light of yesterday was Trosa. You know, I told everybody I don't want to get too confident when it comes to a horse, but in my mind, if Trosa got around the track, which he did very, very well, if he gets around the track well, he is the class drop that we were looking at yesterday was extraordinary. Almost, it would be the equivalent. You talk about the right tool for the right job. It would be the equivalent of lighting your cigarette with a flamethrower. He is a middle to high condition pacer in Ontario when he's good. Problem was he was bleeding a little bit, and we were trying our best to get him plugged up. You can use a little more Lasix in the States than you can in Canada, and having him right here on the track reduces that stress. I just thought that this was at the very least, a very favorable way to grade him, a very favorable way to assess where he was and where he wasn't. And I'm going to tell you one thing, that horse right there just felt like he will go right through whatever classes we need him to and right into the open. He just seemed like he was, you have no idea how easily he won last night in 53 and a piece. When I moved him over, he was gone, and I had him cinched up halfway down the lane and just let him waltz under the wire, really. You know, there's no doubt in my mind that if he, and this is after 17 days. I just told you, he bled a little bit. We couldn't train him in those 17 days. You had this big, strong monster of a horse off 17 days, going into his first start in North America on a half. I'm assuming he'd raced on a shorter track in Australia, I imagine. So you have a horse coming into his first start on a half-mile track, and he absolutely blitzed. And it's not like those were two open horses, but they were decent horses. And he won with the utmost ease last night. So very happy for Daniel. He sent this horse over, showed, signs of being fast, but not without his issues. And I think the way we had him hung up last night will be helpful. The classes will be helpful. And as I said, he's a straight shot right into the open, I think, at Northfield Park. A very, very nice horse. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with him. We've been looking for that open type pacer. And I think we found him, to be honest. So, very happy with the way Trosa went. Very happy with the way the schooler went. Even though it was a break, the qualifier and schooler, I learned a lot about the horse, and I think we're on the right track with this horse. Most importantly, Sparkling Volo isn't just a fast horse. This is a very well-bred, very deep, very good-looking animal, and I think once he gets it all put together, again, he's 3. We forget about that, right? The maturity factor when it comes to a big, gigantic trotter. 3's still very much a baby, and I think he's still growing. And to have his confidence boost yesterday, that schooler, he felt much more sure of himself than he did even in the qualifier 25 minutes before. And then, as I said, Legal Scholar, I don't think he's a killer or a monster, but make no mistake, that wasn't his fault yesterday. I just let him trot off his feet, and that sounds stupid to you, but I knew I wanted to get out of there and spot it well, and to do so, he would have to sprint a little bit off the gate. The one thing I will say, he's not really a sprinter, but he doesn't have to be. Next week with Aaron, he just has to be pointed towards the direction of the front. He's going to make front, and what he can do and how fast he can go will be on display next week, I'm sure of that. And then the only tricky part yesterday was, aside from Sparkling, was Arrowhead Handover, where we raced him. I know it's frustrating. Listen, you get through those spurts where things just aren't great. He's drawn terrible. He hasn't got great trips. Greg put it as 2 months, and when he wrote it initially, I'm like, come on, it's pretty much close. It's been almost 2 months since this horse got a great trip or a great draw or a favorable position. He's sitting on some good luck. That's what I'm trying to say. We're here now. We're here to drop old Addie Bear off at...
Not old.
You're not... How old are you, 5?
6.5.
6.5 or almost 7?
Still on?
All right, out you go, out you go, out you go.
Good morning, Matilda. How are you? Good, how are you? Awesome.
Here, sweetheart, which one's yours?
This one.
I got your sight words. You can take them with you. And you go, I can help you.
Stop. There we go.
Throw that in there.
Sight words in there, we're good to go.
All right, sweetie, have a good day.
Have a good day, you guys. Got it?
So we're all done now. Nothing racing today. Off to take Ava to school. Now, Ava used to go to St. Barnabas here, but she goes to Walsh Jesuit, just down the road now.
I graduated.
Because you graduated, yes. You go to Walsh Jesuit now, and very proud of your marks this week. I told Ava that her first taste of real life will be going to this school, because you better keep her marks up, or she'll be going somewhere else.
I have a 700% in global studies.
How can you have 700%?
Because I got 700 extra credit points.
Oh, that's very nice.
I was 700%. Well, I actually got 7, but they're equal to 100 per point, so I have 700. I can
Well,
show
that's
you.
good.
700%.
So off to Walsh Jesuit, and then over to the barn. We're gonna go with some babies today. I got to train Tally the Tab today. Oh, a lot of people asking about Yo Mister and his bone scan. I was a little disappointed. It was a pretty uneventful bone scan. They were gonna re-X-ray the right hind ankle, which would make sense. They said there was some, I forget the medical term they used. To me, it sounded like there was just some arthritis in that ankle, which is not shocking. But it's not presenting the way even the bone scan is saying it's not presenting like that when I look at him. Now, we got to take that. If that is the case, there was mild changes in his knees up front and one ankle. That's just racehorse stuff that we can deal with and treat. The right hind was the issue, and they were going to re-X-ray and look at it closely again today. But their belief was there was some changes in the... This isn't the word, but I'm going to use... Okay, hold on. That's good. This isn't the word, but I'm going to use it anyway. The density of the bone. Does that mean that there's a line forming in there? Are we at the forefront of something? Don't know. That's not necessarily what it's saying. There was no indicators or indication of anything very serious with Yo Mister. So does that mean we just focus on the areas that they're talking about and continue to work on him, work on those secondary issues? You can see them up in his back. Or is there something brewing there? Do we give him just a few weeks maybe if there's something there? If there's something the bone scan can't see, the x-ray can't see, and it's to the visible eye as a horseman, it's there. Well, the easiest way to treat that is just give him a little time, right? So it might be the case where if they're uncertain, it's unclear, and the tests are inconclusive, but I still see it right there in front of me, take the shoe off first, because sometimes you end up with a high nail in there or something in there that might be bothering him. And maybe just give the horse, just sit him for 2 weeks. That may be the case also. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I was worried we were going to get there. In fact, I've only seen a horse look like that once or twice in my life, and all times it was up in the tibia, up in the big bone, where they just had to get some time, and that's what I really thought it would come back with, and that's not the case. So if this is what they found, then fine. We will deal with it. We will treat it. Dr. Latessa's working right now, getting prepped and ready for Harrisburg, to go down to Harrisburg. ERU's at Hanover Shoe Farms, looking at some horses for other people. So this is the time right now, this small little transition before and after Harrisburg, where there's a little time. And a lot of these horses, like we talked about Foxy Seaside, she was entered for Saturday. I didn't finish having a discussion with Jason before she was entered, which is fine. I'm listed, but Aaron Merriman's actually going to jump off the horse he's driving to drive Foxy Seaside. I'll have Dr. Latessa's crew at Lake Equine, if he can himself today, go all over Foxy Seaside. She may need a little bit of that work done, maybe something minor like her knees or blocking her feet. We'll have a look at Foxy Seaside today. But again, is this transition, this tiny little transitions here. It's time to give horses a little bit of a break. We get a head start with Chicago Hall. Virtually by the time we get everybody, we take a deep breath, come back, get everybody situated back in the barn, and go to Chicago Hall. He's ready to go back in virtually, right? So that's what we're trying to do with a number of these horses, and Foxy would be one of them. So I'll be keeping a very close eye on her this week also. So a lot going on in the barn. Nothing on the sale platform today that really caught my eye for the next little bit. The only horse was just a pacer yesterday, which I didn't even log into bid because he was getting a little too high. What did I put there? He was getting a little too high for me. So, oh, there's traffic on the way back. That's cool. I wonder how I can bypass that.
Just go the way we went yesterday, back to Brunswick.
I'm not going back to Brunswick. I'm going to the barn, Dodo. This might be the only way in. I'm not sure. Maybe by the time I turn around and come back, whatever's going on with that police car up there will be gone away. Anyway. It might be a little chilly today, but it is warming up. It's going up to about 10 Celsius. What's that, about 52, 53 Fahrenheit? Today, it should be a decent day, a decent morning. Probably get to training and going with those horses. Nassau is another one that'll be training. Probably go with them around 10 or 10:30. Not too early. Be pretty chilly. So we'll get those guys trained up today and ready to go for next week coming. Tally the Tab will be in on Wednesday. Legal Scholar will be back in. The one thing I said to Jason was just assess which is the cheaper class. The non-winners of 2 class. Non-winners of 2 but 4. Or that series that he was in last night. Either one, we gave virtually nothing for him. I'll tell you what we gave for him. We gave less for him than I can Amish him for right now to the Amish. A good-looking Walner stud, or a good-looking Walner horse. You're not gonna get any less than that for him. Gelding or Colt, to be honest. So what we're dealing with is, can he do? If so, where can he do? And let's get it done. So Legal Scholar will be back in next week. Tally the Tab will be back in next week. All the usual suspects will be in again next week. Rock Shining Star will be returning from, if he doesn't draw in today, he'll be in to go next week also here at Northfield Park. Who else do we have? Spitfire Overseas will, and maybe sending him to Ontario. We'll see. And then the 2 fillies will go out to the field. Memento Mori will likely go back to the meadows. So we'll start shuffling the deck again as we leave Harrisburg. And that's not to say that we're not leaving with anything from Harrisburg. That is a little older than a yearling also. A lot of people asking about, are we getting any race horses at Harrisburg? Probably, yes. We likely are. But we'll see how that plays out over the next week or so. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I will probably check in, probably not today. And what about, I don't want to jinx them, but what about the Blue Jays last night? Great game last night. Certainly wasn't 18 innings, and it was nice to see. Them play well. Now they're all knotted at 2. Today is Game 5 tonight in Los Angeles, and the last 2 games go back to Toronto if needed. Definitely one will be in Toronto, if not 2. So with that, I will let you go. Go Jays. Take care, everybody. Have a tremendous rest of your day.